As I said in a previous video with my mom, yeah, this is her husband, Fat Cliff. In this picture, he was doing some prison time. He's been back and forth in prison all his life. He have kids all over Petersburg. I think he have like anywhere between 10 and 15 children. Uh, as I stated, but I was gone for the summer with my aunt Madeline. And by the time I came back, my mom was already married, and this man was calling me his son. Shortly after, we moved to Shore Street, little duplex in the drug neighborhood, 2 bedroom, where he ended up selling drugs out of. Um, Cliff was a character, man. He grew up in the streets, spending the streets all his life. He couldn't read or write, but he's a street guy. He can count money. That was about the only thing he can do is count money. He knew the streets. He was older than my mother, so he was maybe in his mid-30s when I met him. But my mom was pregnant with my little brother shortly after we moved to Shore Street, and it was me and my two sisters in the bed. It's in the bedroom, and my little brother slept in the room with them. So yeah, this is Fat Cliff, man. He was a character. He worked at Church's Chicken when I first came back this summer. He was a very low level dealer. Wasn't getting any money. He was on that narcotic. Smoking woolers. That's crack mixed with weed and powder mixed with weed. He was probably doing some sniffing too. But yeah, he was nobody in the streets. He was just one of the guys in the way, just surviving in the streets. That's it. Never had no real money or anything. But yeah, that's Fat Cliff, man. Yeah. Well, other than that, he was always in and out of jail his entire life. Really didn't accomplish anything, but he just uh, was able to leave behind his legacy with maybe 10 to 15 children. But abusing women caught up with him. This is the end result of him beating on a woman that he was dealing with that was in the military. Well after my mama, years after my mother. Apparently, she was tired of his abuse and cheating, and he went to sleep, and she set him on fire. So he woke up, ran out the house, burning. She poured gasoline on him. Uh, as you can see, he's burned 99% of his body. He was unable to survive. Uh, he ran down the street, fell out, and he burned until the fire department came and put him out. She put a accelerant on him. She ended up getting booked for murder, but I don't think she got that much time. I'm not sure, but yeah, he died a horrible death, man, and that's karma. All the dirt that he done to people all the years, all the abuse that he handed out to women and children. Uh, Karma came and got him. She was tired of his crap, and word has it that he spent up her money and took advantage of her and was beating her up, and she just snapped. She reached her breaking point, and I took this picture. I went to see his body at the funeral home, and I just wanted to see his body. I just wanted to see him dead. I wanted to look him in the face. Uh, I didn't feel anything. I just wanted to see him. That's it. I went with my mother, my nephew, and my little brother, which is his father. This is his son, my little brother. Uh, of course, he took it hard because that was his father. But yeah, I didn't feel anything. I know it's people that might judge me and be like, "Yo, you crazy, bro." But hey, man, I felt a sense of relief that I'm staring down at his body because, to be honest with you, I kind of wanted him gone. Um, so felt some pleasure looking down at his body, and I did send the woman some money. I sent her $250. Uh, she was in the county jail in Riverside, and I sent her $250. I found out her name and everything, and sent some money to her books. And I attached a note saying thank you. I never heard anything back, but that's what I done. So this is a chapter closed on Fat Cliff. He died a horrible death. You have to be careful how you live because the life you live, you know, might be the way that you die. So we didn't go to the funeral because the family didn't want my mom there. I had to call the funeral home and push my weight around and say, hey, they're still married. She has rights to see him because they didn't even want my mom to see him. But I stepped in, and the funny part about that is, once my mom kept saying, "Hey, I'm getting all the money. I'm his wife. I'm getting everything." I'm like, "Mom, this dude never worked anywhere but Church's Chicken for a few months. What do you think you're gonna get?" So at the time Fat Cliff died, he was in his early 60s. You know what this man's life was worth for being on this planet 60 plus years? They told my mother she can get $280. Wow. Yeah, Fat Cliff's life, his whole existence, wasn't worth much. It was worth $280. And my mom was looking sick when they told her that. I said, "Mom, I told you, this man isn't worth anything. Uh, you married this guy thinking she thought she was gonna get some serious money, man. It was crazy." And I had to keep telling her, man, this dude ain't worth anything. So a 60 plus year old man is worth less than $300. So be careful with how you navigate through life. Crime doesn't pay. There's no retirement plan. There's no 401k. The streets doesn't have dental, medical. You don't get much living a life of crime, but death or jail. That's just the bottom line and the honest truth. So the happy endings, people retire like Sosa off of Scarface. Nah, that's only in the movies. You end up getting old. You can't hustle forever. That's a young man's game. So you see guys in their 40s and 50s and 60s. Uh, you start to deteriorate. When you can't get that drug money anymore, you end up becoming a user. Because, like I said, you don't have a retirement plan in the streets. You have nothing. It's like you never existed. You was getting that fast cash, but when that fast cash runs out, it's over. Goodbye, Fat Cliff. I can remember when I was about 17 or 18, And Cliff had just came home from prison, and I seen him on the block, man. He was riding with a dude named MJ. Him and MJ was tight, older guy, and he was like, hey, Bleak, man, I see you, man. That's my son right here. He got out the car, and I'm like, yo, what up, Cliff? You know, and all that. I dapped him up, gave him a hug and everything. I was like, man, you good? He was like, man, you out here getting money, man. I hear about you, man. You looking nice. Look at you. You got a nice little Cadillac. You know, man. Let me hold some, man. Give me some, man. So, I think I had like a little more than a half ounce of crack on me. Uh, I gave him that, and like I think whatever cash I had in my pocket, I think I had like maybe $180 some and like little loose money and stuff. I gave him that, and oh man, he was happy, man. He was like, man, this my son, man. He getting it out here. He getting it. I showed him everything he know. I was like, oh man. So all of us was out there laughing because we all know Fat Cliff, man. But you know, he was happy, man. I looked out for him, and a little while after that, you know, he was back talking to my mom. He was going down there to see her or whatever. And then my mom called me crying one time, man. Cliff went down there and cursed her out and acted like he was going to fight her. So I pulled up on Cliff at the laundromat at the bottom of Harlan Street. I said, Cliff, I ain't a little boy no more. I jumped out with my gun in my hand. I said, I'm not a kid anymore, man. You're not going to put your hands on my mom, dude. I'm a grown man. He said, man, I heard about you. I know you're a man now. I know you got a pistol. I know, you know. It wasn't like that, man. You know how your mom be getting upset. And I was like, I'm just letting you know, man. Don't put your hands on my mother, man. And yeah, I think I didn't see Cliff for a while after that. I guess he stayed away, and I think he ended up going back to jail because he was always in and out of jail. And the last time I saw him is when I came home from prison in my late 20s. After I did my little Fed bid, and I got some funny I want to tell y'all. I came home, you know. He ended up being back with my mom throughout my prison bid. I ended up doing 6.5 in the feds, and he was acting a fool. He was roughing my mom up, beat my little brother up in my grandmother's house in front of my grandmother, you know, because I wasn't around. See, he was in line. He was in check when I was out, but he ran amok when I wasn't around. And I told him when I called my grandmother, and he was in the house, and I told her, put him on the phone. I said, dude, I'm going to get you when I get out. And he was like, you ain't going to do shit to me. I said, all right, I'm going to see you. And that was that. And I can remember coming home, and I was down my mother's house. I was in the living room, sleep on the couch. He came in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning. And he didn't even see me sleep on the couch. He walked right past me. I woke up, and I heard his voice. So I get up, go in my mom's room. Him and my mom was sitting on the bed. And as I walked in the door, he was like, Alan here? And then he looked up at me. I didn't say anything to him. I walked right up to him, punched him in his nose, straight left. Boom! He fell back on the bed. Then he got up. I thought he was reaching in his pocket for a gun or a knife. So I rushed him again. Boom, 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 pieced him up. He was on the ground. My mom grabbed me. Not in my house. You got blood gushing out of his face from that one punch I hit him with, the first one. And after that, he stood up and got up slow. He pulled a handkerchief out of his pocket and put it up to his nose. And I was just looking at him. Mind you, I was still on federal probation. So he ain't want nothing. So I walked, put my clothes on in the living room, and I went and took a walk down the street. As I was coming back, I walked around the block. the police was rushing to the house. So I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? So I called my mom. I'm like, yo, why the police at the house? You know, my mom was like, did you have a ring on or something? Cause you cut his face, cut his nose or something. I said, so the fuck what, Mom? What the fuck? So he in the background like, yeah, you stole me, nigga. Come on back. Come on back and give me my one. So I'm arguing with my mom on the phone. I'm like, yo, you let this nigga call the police on me and you know I'm on federal probation? Then she started going back and forth with me, and then, you know, I lost it, man. I said this to my mom, you know, in the heat of the moment. You know, I was like, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. And she hung the phone up. So the police ended up leaving. I had called my aunt to come pick me up. And the police was leaving, and he called me. He was like, yeah, man, I didn't call the police. I ain't want to do that to you, man. I ain't press no charges and nothing. Ain't like you shot me or stabbed me or anything. And I'm like, nigga, I ain't never called the police on you. He was like, no, it ain't nothing about nothing, man. Like, man, I wouldn't send you back to the penitentiary, man. I wouldn't do that to you, man. And then, you know, he tried to start making small talk with me, man. And then, you know, I just got off the phone, and then my Aunt Bernadine came and picked me up and took me to my grandmother's house in Petersburg. And I've been coming back and forth since then. I fell out with my mom for a while, but then I came back and saw Cliff one more time, and then, you know, he spoke to me or whatever, then had a pocket knife in his hand like that was intimidating or something. And then, you know, it was nothing. And then, you know, he thought I was selling dope or something because I had started working and got myself together by then. He was like, man, look out for me, man. Give me about an ounce or something. I'm like, an ounce? I'm like, dude, I'm not in the streets, man. I'm working. He was like, man, come on, look out for me, man. I need about an ounce or something. I was like, all right, man, I'll get back with you. But that was the last time I saw Cliff before, you know, me seeing his dead body. But that's what happened. You know, to everyone who know Fat Cliff, this is how he met his demise. And this is what he looked like. He was unviewable. I think he had a closed casket at his funeral. And this was the last time I seen Fat Cliff. So like, share, subscribe to my page. I have more stories coming to about the death business. And this one was personal. This one put a little smirk on my face. And I'm glad he's gone. Rest in peace, Cliff.